And we are live. Welcome to the 13th episode of the PlatsTalk podcast. Oh, the unlucky episode. I don't know if it's going to be that way. I am being joined by Wildcrafters. So, Wildcrafters, how are you today?
Pretty good. How are you doing today?
I don't know if it's going to be that way. I'm pretty good. Honestly. I am definitely excited to be doing this, for sure. I just have to send out pings. So, stall time. I need to send out pings. Can you stall time?
I'm stalling right now, don't worry. Stalling.
Although I will say, having somebody, it sucks that we had to end the last PlatsTalk early, but having somebody else on was a lot of fun.
It was a lot more fun because we had some more, like, just other things.
I want to do that again. I want to do that again for sure. So, stay tuned for more, why I don't know why it still says the future of PlatsTalk again, Call of Duty stuff. I don't know why it's doing that, but you know, screw you, I guess. Not the viewers. This stupid Discord that's not updating and deciding to show the old content notifications live now, and then we're just gonna do that. There we go. Yeah, that's for being resourceful. Yay! Yay! We did it. Let's go. Okay, so. What are the topics today? That's a good question. Today we are going to, it's kind of like we have 3 topics in a certain sense, which I mean is a little contrast from the last one.
It's pretty similar to 3 topics, yeah.
So the first topic of the day is going to be Castle Crashers. I just realized actually in this branding, we actually didn't put Minecraft. That was it was like my favorite game ever, and we didn't put it. We put COD instead, which I think we're going to end up talking about COD more, so makes sense. But, if you see in just beside the Plot 2 logo, that's a Castle Crasher. We have the blue Castle Crasher. Well, technically, my old main character. Basically, I just used the blue Castle Crasher because it looks better on camera. But now I mean the orange Castle Crasher, but that's beyond the point. We're going to talk about Castle Crashers today, and we'll get into it, I guess, a lot more and just, you know, talk about Castle Crashers. We've got... we'll be starting with that, so if you're here for the Forza part, come back in a little bit, and, I mean, if you're interested in Castle Crashers, keep watching, but if you're only here for the Forza part, come back in a little bit, and then we'll do that part, at the end. But we'll talk about Insane Mode for Castle Crashers, because it's one of the hardest things I've done in any game, and we are going to talk about, as well, No Magic. Yeah, No Magic. We're doing a challenge right now, so, I don't know how many of you have seen it. If you're in my Discord, I've talked about it a bit. The link should be in the description, but I've talked about it a bit in my Discord, the challenge I'm working on. And then a PlatsTalk topic that we've literally been planning, I would say, probably since we stopped playing, like since we decided to make PlatsTalk like Rocket League only, I think. Or sorry, not Rocket League only. I think we've talked about this topic for a very long time. I don't know if you agree. How long have we talked about this one for? We've talked about it for a while, though, right?
We've done this one for a while, yeah.
The 50-lap race. Surprise! This is, in a certain sense, our new Rocket League. And in a certain sense, because it's something that we do and it's changed. There's been 2 iterations of it, the IndyCar and basically the NASCAR-like iteration. But we're going to talk about both, I guess. And so 4 topics, I guess, kind of. But they're all quicker, so... Alright, let's start with Castle Crashers. None other than Castle Crashers. I mean, it's a great game. I don't know what else... It's such a good game, dude. I will say, I'm still not that good, but I've gotten a lot better recently at Castle Crashers. I would say, at least. I feel like I've gotten better recently.
Yes, yeah, I've definitely gotten a lot better.
I'm still not good, but, you know, that's fine. But it's a really fun game. So if you don't know what Castle Crashers is... The best way to I would still call it I don't know. What genre is Castle Crashers? Like, in a certain sense, I would still call it a platformer, but it's not really.
I say it's pretty similar to a platformer.
Oh, it says fighting game, indie game, beat 'em up, casual. Yeah, I mean, it's similar to a platformer in a certain sense, but it's more of a fighting game. But it's really well done. Like, it's not like, you know, Mortal Kombat or Tekken or Tatsunoko vs. Capcom. It's not like that kind of fighting game. It's more like it's kind of like a platformer combined with a fighting game.
Yeah.
So if you're unfamiliar with Castle Crashers, it's a ton of fun. Like, it's a really good game. But if you're unfamiliar with it, actually, do I have some gameplay that I can show? I think I do. I think if I just go to my tab here, I think I have some gameplay that I can just quickly show, and I'll just play it, just so you can see, because I don't know how many of you are familiar with Castle Crashers.
They probably won't be too familiar with it.
Yeah. So let me
It's an older game. It's from like 2015, I'm pretty sure.
Well, the remastered version is, but the original version might be even earlier than that. So let's just, I have footage from our No Magic challenge, so we'll just use this. So where is PlatsTalk PC display? Here it is. All right. So I'll just play some of this footage here so you can actually see. I don't have chat open. Actually, no, I can see it on the side, so I'll know when someone types in chat. Should still be good. But this is what Castle Crashers looks like. So as you can tell, it's, from what you'll see here, it's more like a fighting game. But at the same time, there's also like a full-on world map and everything like that. Like, you'll see when we're guys to another area here. I think this is Barbarian War. How far did we get? We got up to...
We got almost on the entire left side.
We got up to Cyclops. The Cyclops boss. We got up to Cyclops. Yeah, this is good though because it's like very early gameplay. So it's a really fun game though because it's kind of, for me, in a sense, refreshing because I don't really play many fighting games. Like, this one is actually really fun because it's so well done. It's done in like the style of a platformer, and it's a great party game. Like, I did one time say that New Super Mario Bros. Wii was the second best multiplayer game. That's not true. I don't think it is. It's good and it's hectic and it's fun, but Castle Crashers just works so much better. Like, for example, like, we've played this game. I know, well, we've played this game like on the same Xbox before, and like, there is virtually no difference if you're playing on the same Xbox versus playing online. And that's like, it's because you're not split screening. Just both your characters are there. It's not hectic at all. It's the same either way. Although I will say it might be a little bit better in some circumstances because, in a sense, it'd be a little bit better because there's no lag. Like, we have lag issues. Oh, here we go. Oh, yeah. There we go. There we go. Look at that, my Twitch branding, because Nova decided it would be a good idea to join the call. So I had to go and I had to change the screen there for a second. But anyways. I mean, you like this game a lot more than I do. So, do you have anything else?
Yes, I've played it. I played ever since the game first came out. Is when I started playing it.
Well, because there's actually two versions of Castle Crashers. There's Castle Crashers and Castle Crashers Remastered. So, Castle Crashers Remastered is the one that we play because the reason why is because it was easier. I was originally going to get original Castle Crashers because that was the one I had played before. But I ended up getting Castle Crashers Remastered because I had played it before, I just played it like with other people before, but I never had the game. But I ended up getting Castle Crashers Remastered because it was way easier to get on Xbox One. Like, it was harder to get Castle Crashers, like the original version. Is there really a difference? I guess Back Off Barbarian, right? And starter characters. That's the only difference, right?
Back Off Barbarian is a newer version of the Castle Crashers thing. That was never in the original. And also all those DLC characters, we call them. Those are in the game now for free. You can
they're starter characters.
Versus when I used to play that older one, we never had that.
Like the blacksmith, for example, would be a starter character, right?
Yeah.
Now, why don't we talk about characters? Oh my god, there's this huge chat message from Nova. Oh my god. From the on the PlatsTalk. Anyways, can you tell Mitch how's he gonna run Ark on Xbox when he only has one Xbox account? If that makes sense, would he have to buy it on both or something from the stream? Because I'm just playing the stream footage.
Yeah.
So the thing with Castle, let's talk about characters. So right now we're doing the no magic challenge, so we can't use magic. There was only a couple. We can technically hit the RT and run with it, like I allowed that, but we can't actually use a magic attack, which at this point is, why don't we talk about no magic now that we're here actually? Because I have the no magic footage playing. So, no magic. So basically, Castle Crashers has these things called magic attacks. So, everything in Castle Crashers can be leveled up. So, you can level up your strength, you can level up your defense, you can level up your magic, and you can level up your agility. So, to get more levels, you just level up. And then up until it's level 20, right? Is it level 20?
Level 20 is when you stop getting 2 and you start getting
you used to get like 2 options to increase your skill per every single level up. Now you only get one option. But the thing is, you'd always upgrade magic. And magic was, and the reason behind this is because magic does a lot of damage, but it does have the drawback of you have to recharge it. But magic generally, like, what does your character do with magic? Because you're full everything. So what does your character do?
So my character is the blacksmith. And with the blacksmith, my Y ability for magic allows me to use a frog, which basically is able to, if someone's shielding, I can basically disable their shield and hit them as well. And then if I use my B ability, which is like my one I can just throw something, I can throw a flaming hammer, which can be stopped by a shield. But if it isn't a hit someone, it can do about 80 damage, which is a lot. And then my jump up ability is just a spring that just shoots me into the air.
That one's really good. Like, that was one of, I say that one is one of the more underrated ones. Like, one of the more underrated attacks in a certain sense. Like, it's not like too, like,
it does a lot of damage.
Yeah. Oh, we're getting to the point where you had to, you almost died at the barbarian boss. You were on, like, no health, and then gave me a good res, even though, we had to 1v1. So my character I might as well talk about is, I used to use the Blue Knight. So one of the starter characters is the Blue Knight. He's pretty good. I like the Blue Knight, especially the magic attacks. The stun that it does is actually really good. The problem was I was stupid in how I leveled up the Blue Knight. I leveled up Strength first. So that was kind of a mistake. I should have done Magic first. And then I wanted to start a new one. So I started the Orange Knight, which is Fire. So my attacks, I don't have Strength all the way leveled up. I only have Magic all the way. And then Defense and Agility, I barely done anything to. But Strength, I have leveled up to the point where, sorry, Magic, I have all the attacks. So I have the same Spring Up and A, except it's an orange attack and not purple. Yours is purple, right?
Mine is a purple knight, yes.
Okay, so, and then I have, so that's the level up menu that you just saw, and then this is like the world map. So that's why I almost think it's more like I guess Super Smash Bros. Has a world map though, but this is more level style. This is also one of my favorite levels. Forest Entrance is one of my favorite levels in the game. This is like the best song in the entire game in Forest Entrance. We'll talk about the music in a bit because I want to talk about that. But with the abilities that I have, so I have the jump up. I have if I do magic and then B, I just throw a fireball. Magic and then Y, shoot a bunch of fire. Magic jump and then Y. It's a bit different. It just shoots the fireball, but it shoots it down more. So those are my magic attacks, very similar on the Blue Knight in a certain sense, except just with ice instead of fire. And it's pretty good. Magic is one of the best ways to get good kills, especially at range, and to actually beat the levels. So what we decided to do was say, yeah, magic's great and all, but what if we don't use it? So our challenge is we can't use magic, and we can only melee. That might not sound too bad, but let me find a spot where it was super annoying. I'll find it in the stream.
Go to that one bridge. Go to that one bridge spot.
The bridge?
Yeah, where you can't make. Remember how me and you struggled on the hardcore mode?
No, I'm going to Wedding Crash. Or not Wedding Crash. I'm going to Parade.
Parade.
Welcome to Hatred. So this is the Parade level. And because Wildcrafters died, because he only brought one health potion, usually what you're supposed to do to defeat this boss here. I don't remember what his name is. I put it in the video script, but I'm not going to go check it right now. Usually what you're supposed to do, so just to put in perspective how hard no magic is. Usually and not necessarily difficult at this point, but just tedious. Usually what you're supposed to do is, with this boss here, what you need to do is use magic against him. But we can't do that because we don't have magic abilities. So that's our best range attacks that are gone. So instead, we have to bow him, which does 4 damage a hit. So I hope that proves how difficult this is. And because I was on few health potions here, it was basically make a few mistakes and you're done. Like that, for example. So that just goes to show how difficult how difficult I believe this challenge is. And I don't know if you agree with me.
The challenge, yes, it can be difficult, but for players who know how to use melee, or who mostly like to use melee over magic,
then it doesn't make a difference.
Very easy. But for our scenario, me and you both like to use magic on our people.
Yeah.
So it makes this challenge a lot more difficult.
Yeah, which makes sense because we find magic to be more effective. So this challenge becomes a lot more difficult then. But this
Yes.
isn't. I think that's really all we have to talk about this one. If you do want to watch this challenge, it is going to be, if you remember the No Brick Block series. The last one was in like, I think it might have come out in like February, March 2020. It was Coin Battle No Brick Blocks. This is going to be a similar challenge to that. I didn't do any more of the No Brick Block series. I haven't really wanted to. I'm still not throwing it out the window though. I just haven't really wanted to do the star coins yet. So it is going to be a scripted style of video in the same style as No Brick Blocks. And I did look it up. This challenge I don't think has been done yet. There is somebody who has done Can You Beat Castle Crashers only using magic though, so credit to them. I can't find their username. I'll look for it in a minute here. But now that you've seen Castle Crashers gameplay, I don't think we need to show that anymore. Let's talk about Insane Mode.
Yes.
Oh boy.
As we related,
You want to start on this one?
Insane Mode is a lot more difficult. It's meant for players who are able to basically do the entire game themselves. It's meant for a lot better players.
Okay, yeah,
now,
so
me and Blaze are not that type of better players.
So people have done Castle Crashers no magic. Somebody did it 5 years ago. YouTube channel did it 5 years ago. All right. YouTube channel. What? YouTube channel Wasabi Sandwich did this 5 years ago. But I don't. It doesn't seem. What?
That's also when that game was a lot easier.
It doesn't seem. There was one that I found a month ago. It doesn't seem like it's as different as ours. And then Castle Crashers only using magic. Somebody else did it recently. Can you beat Castle Crashers only using magic? Yeah. So this was done by YouTuber Dolphinier. As a challenge video. This is only a 12 view video, but I might check this out actually. So yeah, I know the idea is kind of different that we have, but still credit to them for having a Clash Crash idea similar. But you want to start on Insane Mode and talk about how much more difficult it is?
Insane Mode is a lot more difficult than most people would think. Even when me and Blaze first started, I didn't think it would be that hard. But fast forward a bit later, when I got more into the game myself, I realized that I couldn't do this one level by myself. So every single time I'd keep trying, but I would never actually get it.
It was, for reference here, let me find the level. Sorry, let's go to the Castle Crashers wiki. You keep talking,
At some point, Blaze finally said that he had helped me do the level. And it took us a couple attempts, but we did it. And then we kept going on from there. But we still have to catch up Blaze's other account.
Yeah, my account isn't higher enough level. It is Thieves Forest, the level that that you were struggling with was Thieves Forest. We're currently stuck on Tallgrass Field, right?
No, it's the B level. Right
B
before
level. What's the B level?
Wedding Crash. Right before Wedding Crash.
Flowery Field. That's the one that we're stuck on right now. And we have beat Flowery Field once, but the progress didn't save for some stupid reason. We're like, let's beat Flowery Field and then get off because we're tired. And then it just didn't save. That's another thing with Insane Mode. The progress doesn't save half the time, and I don't know why.
Yeah. I don't know why it doesn't save, but...
Let me see.
Still, the game is also 5 years old, so we have to give it that.
Oh, here we go. I literally just Googled it. It saves, but only on certain levels. You have to beat these specific levels for progress to be saved. So that just makes it even harder. So, to get Insane Mode as well, let me just say, you have to beat the entire game. You have to beat the game in normal mode just to unlock it. Although, there are ways to bypass this. I was on the Castle Crashers wiki, and I was looking at stuff. There is technically ways to bypass this. But I would not recommend it at all. Because this is very difficult. Do you want to explain the health and the defense and how everything works?
Yeah, so the health, the higher more of those bars or levels you go on it, the higher health your Castle Crasher will have, which means your person will be harder to kill.
the health that others have and how much it's multiplied by.
Oh,
I think it's
like that. Okay.
It's like 10 times more, right?
It's 5 times more health than they usually do.
Okay, because on the wiki it says 10
So
times. I think it's cross between 10 times and 5 times more. It's somewhere around there. But
it's around then,
yeah,
yeah. It's 5 or 10 times more
and
health, I guess.
bear in mind, you also don't do more damage. Once you've
You
maxed
don't
out,
do more damage. You don't get an extra boost.
they do more damage and they have more health, but you don't.
Yep.
So
Which just makes the game even more harder.
it's one of the most difficult things that I've ever done in gaming. Not even levels like 2-4 no brick blocks star coins. It was one of the ones that I had done. This, just to hit 2 brick blocks, or no, I think I did it when hitting 5 brick blocks actually. Although I believe it is possible with 2. Or no. What level was it? I think it's 2-5. Let me see. Yeah, it is. Oh no, 2-6. It's 2-6. 2-5 is the Lakita level. Okay, 2-6. When I did 2-6 no brick blocks, trying to get to, because it was activated via Vine, and trying to only get, no, it wasn't even activated by a Vine. It was just some stupid pipe you had to get into. And it took me like so many tries. And that was one of the hardest things I've ever done in gaming. That is not even close to insane mode. Like, not even. Just to put in perspective how difficult this is. Now,
insane mode's the next level of gaming.
It
takes it to the next level hard.
We also only have 2 players right now. It's me and Wildcrafters. We're planning, I know at least one of Nova or Link is going to join us at some point. I think that's the plan. At least one of, if not both of them, right?
Yes, because another thing I want to say, the game, because it's an older game, the game doesn't know that it has like 2 players or 3 players or 4 players. The game is set to a specific, you have this amount of players and that's all you're going to get. So when me and Blaze keep playing, we're solid, you're playing at 4 players because we're more than 1 player. So the game thinks we have 4 players, so all the damage is a lot more buffed. Makes it a lot harder.
Yeah. So that's the thing. That's one of the things that makes insane mode just so difficult, is the way that it is, in a certain sense. It's just everything is multiplied and everything is just so much, I don't know what else to say. It's just so much more difficult.
It's more difficult than it would be. Because in the original game, I can do the entire campaign myself.
Yeah, I could probably get away with it as well. It might be a bit harder
Yeah.
for me, but it would be doable, I think. I just have no one to use healing potions.
Yeah.
Now,
But in
yeah.
insane mode, I'm even struggling just to do 1 or 2 levels by myself.
I think in insane mode, I would not be able to get through a single level on my own. The farthest I might be able to get is done like Castle Keep, where you can get healing potions. That's literally it. I think that's all I'd be able to do in insane mode. And to top that off with the saving issues, or not saving issues, but the way that the game saves in insane mode, it's just so difficult. Like, there's not even anything else to say. It's just ridiculously hard to do.
Yeah.
So, I will say this, though. I'd 100% recommend this game. 100%. This game, I had played it a lot. I didn't really play it much during the pandemic. Like, the last time that I had played it, remember, we played it together. We played it together one time. It was, like, it's such a good multiplayer game, like, having friends over and stuff. And bear in mind, that was a while ago because of pandemic and all that stuff. But, when we had played it together, like on the same Xbox, that was a ton of fun, for example.
Yeah.
And I mean, it makes it just such a good multiplayer game. It's like on par with like games like NHL 19, which I believe, or like the NHL series or the FIFA series, which I believe are really good multiplayer games because, you know, they're easy to play together with other people. They're easy to understand. Actually, I'd argue, I mean, Castle Crashers is also pretty easy to understand as a game, I feel like, but you don't.
Yeah, as long as you know how to click all your buttons on your controller, you pretty much already mastered
and the game, it starts off super easy. Like the Barbarian War and the Barbarian boss and the mid-boss at the Barbarian War, you know, they're difficult for new players, but it's not overly difficult. It's not like Super Meat Boy, for example, which I love that game so much, but it's so hard to do. It's not like that. It's a difficult game, but at the same time, I find that Castle Crashers isn't frustrating, especially with insane mode or no magic. Right now, I found that it's not frustrating in a certain sense. Like, we're doing this, but it's reminding me of when I used to play like Mario a lot, like when I used to play New Super Mario Bros. Wii a lot. You know, you're grinding this one level, constantly trying to beat it, but at the same time, you're not frustrated at all. You're enjoying it. It's not like, for example, Rocket League or Fortnite or COD, I can even imagine, where it's easier to get frustrated in that certain sense. But with Castle Crashers, or even with Forza, where you can get frustrated. With Castle Crashers, that barely ever happens. The only time it happens is when those knights in what is it, Flowery Field, throw a million bombs everywhere in Castle Crashers and make your life super annoying on some narrow section. That's like the only time where the game has actually been frustrating. Every other time, it's like you're grinding. It has that sense of grinding that's not like where it's super frustrating, makes you want to give up, but where you want to keep going. And I think that's one of the greatest assets that this game has. So, anything else, or do we wrap it up here for Castle Crashers?
We can wrap up here. I think that's pretty much it.
Okay, let's talk about the 50-lap race. We have been doing this for a very long time. So, let's talk about a little story time here. Just a little bit of story time with Blaze. So, one time, I had seen Wildcrafters, and he told me, okay, Blaze, you need to install Forza Motorsport 6. It's free with Xbox Live Gold. You got to get this game. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, sure, I'll get it. I forgot to get it for a while. I did get it. I never installed it, but I got it. Or I might have installed it. I just never played it. This was in like November of 2019, or maybe like December of 2019. This was a while ago. I didn't touch the game at all. Fast forward to what? Did we start playing it? It was after, I don't know, was it April or May? When did I stop playing Rocket League?
Probably around April.
When did you stop playing Rocket League? Because I was still playing Rocket League in April.
Around April.
No.
I stopped playing around April.
It was, I think it might have been late April, early May, I think. I usually associate with kind of like a May, because May was when I really stepped back as well. And like we're at the point now where like I don't touch the games a lot anymore because I just haven't wanted to. I've been playing other games.
Yeah.
But it was like April to May, and this game, in a certain sense, replaced Rocket League.
Yeah.
So basically, what we do, and there's going to be a video, the last video. See, you know what? I'm stupid. I usually give hints for Game Spree. I'm stupid. Guess what? If you're watching this PlatsTalk, you got the hint early, okay? The last video of Game Spree 2021, releasing on August 29th, will be Forza Motorsport 6. It's not going to be Motorsport 5, and I had played Motorsport 5 before 6, but the servers don't really work. They either don't work online at all, or are off and on constantly. So, yeah, you don't know, really. But with Forza Motorsport 6, the 50-lap race, general rules is everyone else is in IndyCar, 50 laps, 4 pits. Daytona night, because it is easier. Why do you always pick night, by the way? Does it look better?
It looks a lot better in the daytime. That's
also,
why I pick it.
I also find the same thing with light theme. Dark theme's easier on my eyes, and the same thing with night. That's why I usually use dark theme and stuff, because I find it way easier on my eyes. I don't know about you.
Yeah.
Because
I just like it because one, it's a lot easier for my Xbox to handle like a non-bright game.
Yeah.
And it's easier on eyes, and also looks a lot nicer.
Well, light colors are way harder. I'm like, that's why I use like it's just off topic, but I use a ridiculously low brightness on everything. I think my monitor brightness is at 4 nits right now. So like, wait, let me see. I think it's at 4. Yeah, my monitor brightness, my contrast is at 52. Don't ask why, and my brightness is literally at 4%. On my monitor. So that's not very bright. Like I always use like a super dim brightness. So I don't, unless I'm in like a bright area, in which case I have to completely max the brightness. Like if I'm using like a laptop outside or something, then yeah, guess what? And it's like sunny or something, brightness goes up. Although I will say I did like Champions Field Day more than Champions Field Night. I don't know why. I just like the Champions Field Day map, even though night does look a bit nicer. But anyways, there are 2 iterations of the 50-lap race. The IndyCar and the IndyCar-like, NASCAR-like cars. So IndyCars, everything, the bots were maxed, right?
On IndyCars, yes, they're maxed.
So do you want to talk about IndyCar, or you want me to do? I'm fine with whatever.
I'll do the other car. You know more about the Indies.
Okay, I'll do the IndyCar then, and you'll do the other ones, because yeah, you're better with the other car spinouts. So the Indy cars, you used the number 1 Chevy Indy from 2014, and I used the number 7 Honda Indy, I believe. They're both pretty similar. They're all the Indy cars. They're not the same, but they're all pretty good. Like they're all good
All
cars.
Indy cars are practically the same, except for small minor details.
With tuning, and we'll get into tuning a little bit later. But
tuning and looks.
Basically, what we would do is exactly what it sounds like. It's just a 50-lap race. But we got to make some things interesting here. So in the IndyCar era, which was like May and June, I would say, when we did IndyCars was a lot of fun because IndyCars was about speed. The bots were good enough to potentially catch us at this point. They were good enough, and we weren't good at the game. And during IndyCars as well, because I always used higher assist, we slowly started lowering the amount of assist that I have until now I'm at about medium assist. Wildcrafters uses basically everything off, but I use kind of like, I have like traction control. I was on automatic for a while, and I'm on manual now. I had ABS on, even though I know how to not use ABS, I think. I'll figure it out on the car, but I've had everything, so it's basically perfect for the only race that we do, which is Daytona, because we don't do any other races. But with Indy cars, it was about speed, and it was about being the fastest and planning your pits well, because 4 pits is more than enough to get to that race. But if you get to that race, but if you don't have all 4 pits, you don't finish. And if you don't have all 4 pits and you cross the line at lap 50, you do not finish. You're screwed. You like literally just, it's like a penalty, right? You just don't finish. I think so. Hello? Did you go AFK?
I'm still here.
Oh. You don't finish, right? If you have all 4 pits? Or if you don't have 4 pits?
Yes.
If you
don't have 4 pits, you still finish, but you just don't count to your mark.
You don't get credits as well.
You do get credits, but it's not as much.
I see. So, originally, technically, I had rented an Indy car, and I rented the same one as you, and then I did like a 1 race into McLaren, and then wheel spins in Forza Motorsport 6 are very broken, and you can get the grand prize many times, and that's how we both have like 12 million credits. You probably have more than that at that point, but I have like 12 million credits from all the wheel spins, so I did 1 race into McLaren, which it went okay. I remember just the McLaren was sliding everywhere, and I remember I had to slow down on turns, and then I got enough money to get an Indy car in the game, so that was funny. But the thing with Indy cars is you would have to plan your pits very strategically, and unlike now when we play with our current cars, I feel like when we did Indy cars, crashing was a lot more detrimental.
Yeah, it was. Because Indy cars are a lot more sensitive than our cars we use now.
Yeah, because the Indy cars, basically, if you hit an Indy car, there's a pretty good chance that thing's done, especially if it gets hit at the back. So we'll get into spinning out a little bit later. I'll talk about spinning out an Indy because I was pretty good at that one. But with Indy cars, it was a lot of strategic pit planning because you weren't really able to spin out other cars as much. So you had to plan ahead for when you were going to make your 4 pits and always pit with the people who were in the lead. Pretty much. You would always pit with them and then hope, and then because you don't want to fall, you could either pit with them or pit before them and play from behind. There were really 2 options. You did more of playing from behind than I did. I tried to stay even, but it was a lot about knowing the cars. Then towards the later stages of Indy cars, that was when we decided to tune our cars. So I think mine goes 395 kph and yours goes close to 400, right?
Yeah.
Because we did tune them. I'm not good at tuning, so Wildcrafters did that. It was a finicky process, but I trust the person who did a very good job tuning the Supra in Forza Horizon 2 to help me with tuning the car. So that worked. But with Indy cars, it was really fun. I really like the IndyCar days, and I really do miss them at times, but I really like our new cars. Our new cars are so much fun. Before we get to new cars, let's talk about spinning out with Indy cars. So the way that you would do it is, what you would need to do is, I believe this one did work on the turns, but I believe it was more effective, and you could pull it off a little bit like less risky if you did it on the straightaway. Because Daytona has basically 4 sections. There's one section that's like a little bit of it's like mostly straight, but there's a little bit of a turn in it. That's called checkered flag. Then there's turns 1 and 2 that are connected to each other, straightaway, and then turns 3 and 4. This method worked best, I'd say checkered flag, and especially the straightaway. You would need to first get the inside lane. You need to get the inside lane from the cars. And
which is harder than it sounds.
That is pretty difficult. You basically, especially with the Indy cars, because you can't touch them with the Indy cars. With the new cars, it doesn't matter. With Indy cars, you basically can't touch them or you may screw up your own car because Indy cars are pretty fragile. So, at least in the game. So what you have to do is hit the back left of your car into the front right tire of theirs. And that will not necessarily crash them. It can certainly do that, and that's certainly possible. And we have done that. No, that was on, like, we have done that before. We've had big crashes where we've taken out a lot of players in the game, but it is more risky to do. And more often than not, the car just ends up in the grass and drives back on. So it's really just a method to slow people down. So now, you want to talk about our new cars. So yours is I'll say mine. Number 9 Peugeot, same car that I used in Forza Motorsport 5. It's back. This thing's pretty good. You want to explain the other stuff? Max speed 366 kilometers an hour, by the way. So that's the fastest car that's in those lobbies that we do. Because we had to turn the difficulty down to new racer. So that way the bots can keep up. Which we may be able to turn that up, but we're not sure yet. So
nope, we're not too sure yet.
You want to take lead here?
Yeah. So with our newer cars, the best reason why we kind of swapped over to them was because the Indy cars, whenever you would hit someone, you just immediately you just break your car without any warning or anything. It would just break.
And we also thought, let me just add here. So we don't have the NASCAR DLC for Forza Motorsport 6. I mean, I guess there's a little bit of regret on both of our ends. I feel like maybe because that DLC would have been a lot of fun. We were gonna try back a while ago. We were gonna try with Forza Motorsport 7 because that has the that has NASCARs. The problem is when we went into a lobby to go play together, it didn't work, and you can't have bots in lobbies, which makes, in my opinion, Forza Motorsport 7 online just with one friend worse than Forza Motorsport 6 because you literally can't put bots in offline lobbies. Like, that makes no sense to me. But anyways, continue. So yeah, we thought these cars would be NASCARs and act like them, and they kind of do. Okay, continue.
Yeah, these cars we found have the same hitbox as a NASCAR, similar to them.
They're a bit more fragile, but not as bad as the Indy cars.
Yeah. So for us, we're somehow able to still spin them out without injuring ourselves in the process, which instead of us using the back of our car like in an Indy car, we can now use the front of our car to spin their back out on pretty much almost anywhere we feel like.
Yeah, and the trick is basically the best idea. This time, getting the inside is still difficult, but it's a bit easier because you can basically just push them around the entire track because we're faster than them. We had to turn the difficulty down, as I said. And then it's back left into your front left into their back right tire. I'd say going on turn 1 is a really good time, and going on turn 3 is a really good time, because then they hit the wall. Front or back to the wall is best, I believe. And then when they hit the wall, then they crash and they're out for a little bit. You'll lose a bunch of speed, but they're out for a little bit. And the hope is that they hit another car. So yeah, do you have anything else to add for the current era, or I guess it's kind of similar to the old one?
Yeah, it's pretty much similar to it.
So, I know I have an explanation coming on this, but it's not going to be out for 2 weeks. So, do you want to end off this PlatsTalk with an explanation of one thing? So, I love the 50 lap race. It's a lot of fun. And it's really kind of restarted a love for Forza Motorsport games for me, because I've always preferred the Horizon games, and I still do, especially Horizon 2. That game is nostalgia central for me. But the thing is, there is a little bit of an issue. And we call it glitch trappers. So, you want to explain glitch trappers?
Glitch trappers are basically, when we load into a Forza lobby, a certain amount of the players are loaded onto my server, like my Xbox, and then the other half of the server is loaded onto Blaze's, which really wouldn't create much of a problem, but the problem being whenever we're trying to play, the bots tend to go into the ground. because they just don't spawn in for me. They're spawning in for Blaze and going off of his, making
So
it difficult to
yeah,
spin out.
not difficult to spin out. They don't
It's
even.
impossible to spin them out.
The problem with glitch trappers is glitch trappers, they don't see. So, for example, the glitch trappers that we be hosting on my Xbox, so the bots that are hosted on my Xbox, or just the bots that are hosted on my Xbox, let's just call it that. So, any bots that are hosted on my Xbox are glitch trappers for wildcrafters. Now, we are not glitch trappers for each other. We can spin out each other. Although, when we do the 50 lap race, we're always on a team and we're against everyone else. And the goal is to get first and second. I'd say it varies. It used to be me getting first all the time, and then you were getting first all the time, and now it's all over the place. It basically depends who doesn't crash. We do, in this mode, we crash a lot more than Indy cars, but at the same time, we can make more pits because we crash into everyone else, so everyone else has to make more pits. So pits really aren't an issue, or they don't really become too much of an issue too often. But back to the glitch trappers. The problem is, because so the ones that are hosted on the bots that are hosted on my Xbox are glitch trappers for wildcrafters. They don't see wildcrafters or any of the bots, as far as I know. I'm not an expert on this. They don't see wildcrafters or any of the bots hosted on wildcrafters' Xbox. Similarly, the bots hosted on wildcrafters' Xbox, they don't see me, they don't see the bots hosted on my Xbox. So for me, those 5 bots, usually it's about half and half, that are hosted on wildcrafters' Xbox. For me, those ones are glitch trappers. Although I have seen it as being more than 5 bots at times, it feels like. But generally speaking, there are usually, because there's 10 bots in the lobby, 12 racers, 5 of them are glitch trappers for me, because they're hosted on Wildcrafters' Xbox. 5 of them are glitch trappers for Wildcrafters, because they're hosted on my Xbox. That's basically just how it works. You can't spin them out. If you spin them out, there is a very good chance that you will damage your car. They will go right through you and be unaffected. The only way to slow them down is to head-on ram them, basically. And you'll screw up your car in the process. That's basically the only way to slow them down, right?
The only way of slowing them down is pretty much to sacrifice your car.
Which we've only had to do that once, and it was when you were too far behind to come back and someone was going to be too much of a problem. So I was right near pit road and I just waited for somebody who, generally speaking, and I don't know why, the higher numbers for our lobbies, maybe because you're the host of the lobby, the higher numbers are generally hosted on Wildcrafters Xbox, so they're glitch trappers for me. The lower numbers are generally hosted on my Xbox, so glitch trappers for Wildcrafters. Now that has its pros and cons. The pro is that Wildcrafters spins out people who matter more. The con is you see them less because they're going faster. The people at the end are generally not going as fast, so I run into them more, I feel like. Because I don't know if that's true, or it would make sense. Like, do you know how many times I run into 12th and they're mine, and I spin out 12th like 50 million times a race?
You do that quite often.
But, again, if I'm screwed over and my car isn't working properly, it doesn't make sense to spin, or like I have to come back. It doesn't make sense to spin low numbers out. It only makes sense to spin out the high numbers. And since all the low numbers are mine, then I don't get to spin anyone out. But recently, I've just spun them out anyways because I haven't cared in the game. So that's basically why. That's what I've done rather than, not spinning them out in the game, I guess. But yeah, and then each race, well, depending on assists, you usually get 1 wheel spin a race right now. And those things are broken. Yeah,
they kind of are.
So I guess then the only negative that I really have to say is the glitch trappers, which, although I will say, glitch trappers can make for some amazing moments, because if a bot that is hosted on my Xbox, for example, gets hit by a bot that's hosted on Wildcrafters', who would be a glitch trapper, and I have a good example. I'll explain it. So I had crashed a bot into turn 1. I was fine. I drove away. That bot proceeded to immediately, or just after, they were slow, they weren't even moving yet. A glitch trapper, because they didn't see them, rammed right into them and sent them airborne a little bit. That is sometimes one of the good things glitch trappers do, because that glitch trapper, because they don't see the bot, they won't get damaged. However, the bot getting shot up in the air, they will obviously get damaged because they're getting shot up in the air. If they don't get damaged going up, they will 100% get damaged going down. I don't know if that's exactly how it works, but I would assume so.
Yep, that's exactly how it works.
So, yeah, and then it just creates a lot of hectic moments. And I feel like I definitely recommend Forza, or I guess if you're on PS4, I guess you could probably do a similar thing on Gran Turismo. And while NASCARs would be more fun, I definitely do like the cars that we have now because it still adds an element of challenge. You can't just hit everyone randomly. And again, another thing is we are only limited to 50 laps. I think there will be times when we do 100 for sometimes we would do 50, like 250 lap races. If we had more laps, we would probably do 100. We're not limited to 4 pit stops. We have done 5. The max, I believe, is 25, which I kind of want to try sometime because that would be hilarious. It would be everyone just pitting all over the place. I've done it once. It's so dumb. But yeah, that's the 50 lap race. Do you have anything else to add?
I don't think I do.
Okay, if you have any questions in the chat, we will open. I have the chat open right now. So let me know if you have any questions and we can go from there. About Castle Crashers or the 50 lap race. Both are really fun. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. What do you guys want to see for topics as well? I think for the next one, I want to try and do, I want to do like games that were both like, I guess, well, games that one of us has really played and the other hasn't. So we were thinking of for the next one. Now, just a quick announcement for the channel. Oh, this is what I forgot to do. Announcement. Game Spree 2021 will be running from August 15th to 29th. So during Game Spree 2021, there will be no other videos on the channel and no PlatsTalks. So this will be the last PlatsTalk until Game Spree is done. So probably maybe first week of September will be the next PlatsTalk. Or just at the end of August, early September. That's when the next PlatsTalk is going to be. With the current, I don't know what I was saying. However, what I want to move on to, there will still be Twitch streams. So I will still stream on Twitch while Game Spree is going on. So we'll do Castle Crashers No Magic over there, and I'll work on Theory of Everything too and Geometry Dash. But I think right now the current plan when we get back, and this will probably change, but when we do the next PlatsTalk, it will probably be Geometry Dash and Subnautica, I think, is what we're thinking of right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you have anything else to add? We have no questions in chat. So you have anything else to add?
Nope.
So that is going to wrap up the stream. If you did enjoy, please like, subscribe, and turn notifications so you never miss a video or a stream. That's going to wrap this video, or this is going to wrap this PlatsTalk episode. Thank you all so much for watching.